Okay, we're back. We're back. It looks like we're back. It looks like we're back. Let me know if you can hear me. I plugged in this microphone right here. We're gonna see if this microphone will work or not. We're gonna see if this microphone can work or not. We're gonna see if this mic. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Am I still static? I may be a little bit too loud. We got cut to the chase in the building. Can you hear me? Cut to the chase. Is my sound good? They're saying much better. Good. Is my sound good? I got this microphone plugged in. Somebody gave me a microphone. It just appeared on my desk, a USB microphone. They're saying not as static. You're clear. I'm A-OK. Okay, we're good. So where was I? I'm not going to use all those extra cameras. I believe that put a little bit of a load considering I'm at a different spot doing this broadcast tonight. But we're going to teach you about OBS and how Grandmaster Troll uses OBS to become a menace. I'm going to point out some specific YouTubers. We're going to watch some of their videos and how they can use OBS to their advantage. But the reason I love using OBS because not only can I cam up, because there's a lot of YouTubers out there who are afraid to get in front of the camera. You guys know the Obsidians of the world, the Jessica X's of the world. They're afraid to come on OBS and cam up for whatever reason. But your boy's cammed up right now. And I gave a little tutorial. I'll do it again. Let me see. I'll do it again. So this is the display capture right here. So when you use OBS, you have scenes and you're able to name these scenes. So I have one right here, which is a meme that'll usually be the thumbnail that I use. This will be StreamYard. So if I have people come on, I have a specific scene for StreamYard. I have one right here for YouTube window. That's just the box of the YouTube window. And I have a browser window right here. So if I'm reading an article online, I'll be able to click on it. And that's how you'll be able to read the article with me. So now, we're going to go back to the webcam view. And some of you guys are asking, GMT, how'd you get that? How'd you get this nice logo right here? Well, in order to get that logo, I went to Google. I found the image of this goblin. I took that image, then I took that over to Pixlr, and I made it a PNG image, and I put the GMT on the bottom. Then I saved it, and then I put the image up. So we're going to go back to the display capture right here, and we're going to add an image. So if you want to add an image, as I check into the chat, we got my man. They said lower the volume so it won't be turning red. Okay, let's go ahead and lower the volume a little bit because I'm a little bit too loud for DJ Kuda's liking. We got Shayu. We don't know if she has a husband. Celeste in the building. Shout out to her. Let me see if I could add a couple of moderators real quick. Give out a couple of more wrenches real quick. So basically, this is your display capture. This display capture, it allows you to see everything that's on my desktop right here. So if I wanted to show you how to use Adobe Premiere Pro, I'll be able to do that. If I wanted to show you Streamlabs application, I'll be able to do that. If I wanted to show you how to use GoPro Quick, I'll be able to do that. Droid Cam, so whatever application that you have on your computer, I'll be able to show you that on the computer. Let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger as I'm on my phone. Okay, that'll work. So that's how that works. So we'll go back to OBS. If you have a question about OBS or something you want a specific question about, let me know and maybe I'll be able to help you. Van Lee says, GMT, you look like you're in another country hiding from civil unrest. Nah, I'm not exactly hiding from civil unrest. I'm just at my homeboy's house. I was helping him with Adobe Premiere Pro and OBS, trying to get him started. So I was giving him a little prop. So I wanted to not only teach him OBS, but I'll be able to teach multiple people OBS at the same time. So with that said, where should I start? There's a lot of things to start. So I showed you guys how to cam up. I think I'll show you guys how to set up a browser window. So we're going to go back to display capture. If you want like your browser, your Google Chrome browser window to pop up. Let me close out of this real quick. Let's see. We'll go to Google real quick. So that'll be there. We'll go ahead and we'll minimize that. So if you wanted to show your Google browser, what you would do is you would create a new scene. So you would hit new scene. You would name the scene. Let's say we'll call it Google Chrome browser. You would do that. Then you would go to, where is it? Window capture right here. And then you would name it. Now you can't name a scene and the source the same. So you may put Google Chrome browser and then just web browser. So we'll put web browser here. And then it will ask you for a window right here. And for some reason it's not giving me, it's not allowing me to do anything for some reason. And it's not going to let me remove it for some reason. OBS doesn't want to work. If I go to my web browser right here, that's probably why it's not working. So we're going to get this to work real quick. For some reason, it always does this to me for some reason. Now, go back to display. We're going to remove the web browser. Now you would go to window capture. You would title it web browser. You gotta have the Google Chrome opened up. And just like that, you'll see it right there. And if you have other windows opened up or other applications opened up, it will have them there as well. And that's how you get your web browser to pop up. Now, if I wanted my webcams, because I wanted you guys to see me, I would just go video capture device. Since I already have a webcam, I would click on webcam right here. And bam, there goes your boy GMT. And I would slide myself to the bottom. I could put myself in the middle. I could put myself pretty much anywhere on the screen and you guys will be able to see me. Now, if you wanted to get an image, you would go to Google. You could Google whatever image that you want. So I'm going to put my PNG image up. Let's see. You would click the plus sign, then you would go to this image. And this image will allow you to put any image that you have saved onto your hard drive, your desktop, a USB. You'll be able to pull it from right here. So you would go to image, since I have a bunch of images right here. So I'll use one that I already have, but let's say we wanted to create an image. and we'll say new image because I don't know what the image is going to be. You would click OK, then you would hit browse that image. It's going to let you search your computer for that image. So let's see, I will go to downloads and let's see. I think I'll use this image because it's another upload I wanted to do called mud, and that image will pop up right there. And now you have the mud image. Now it appears to be a PNG image because the background of Google is white, but let's say if I was to open up another window, click Google and actually go to a site. Let's see. Let's say I wanted to go to Facebook. I could go to Facebook and you guys will pretty much be able to see everything I'm doing basically. It's going to ask me to log in. Let's see what happens here. David Little says great camera quality is just my webcam camera, but I appreciate the compliment, and as it loads it's gonna take a while because I'm doing everything wirelessly. So while that loads, I think we'll just go over the Pixlr. I like using Pixlr because it's a easy online platform to make images. So now you can see it's not a PNG image. Then you could take this and you could drag it. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger. What else can you do? You can see how you can see stuff on the bottom right here. You could right click on it, hit transfer, and you can fit it to the screen and it will cover the whole screen so there's nothing behind it. Then let's say if I didn't want to show you the web browser and I wanted to show you my computer screen, you would just click the I button on the web browser and an I button on the image, and those things would go away. If I wanted the webcam to go away, I would click the I to go away. Now, let's make them all come back. Let's bring them all back. That in the web browser. Now, whatever you have on top is going to be on top. So right now, the web browser is the second from the bottom. If I put this above the webcam, it's going to cover the webcam, but since it's below the new image, that image is going to be on top. If I take the web browser and drag it to the top, it's going to cover everything. Let's make that go away. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. So right now, since the web browser is on top, you can't see the webcam or the new image that I put up. But if I drag it back to the bottom, you'll be able to see it. So it's very important that you have your things layered correctly so you'll be able to see it. They say GMT is a low key, high key, a tech genius. I'm not a tech genius yet. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. In fact, I want to see what I sound like on this new microphone. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself for a couple of seconds. Okay, I just might have to buy this microphone. I like the way it sounds. I might have to buy this microphone, but that's just some of the things you could do with OBS. So that's how you layer everything. So now we're back to Pixlr. I guess I'll show you guys how to make your image PNG so it looks like this. See how this GMT logo is see-through? And it doesn't have that square look the way this mud guy has the white in the background. I'm gonna show you guys how to take the white away and make a PNG logo. That's just if I remember. So you click on your thing. Let me see if you guys can still see me. They can still see me. Let me make this mud guy go away. We're gonna click on that and hit remove and make him go away. You go to create new or open image. It's still loading, so it's gonna give you the size that you want it to be. I'm gonna make it a little bit small. Well, I don't want to make it small or big. That's the question. I guess I go web 720. You click on open image. We're gonna let it load. We're gonna let it load. Then we're gonna scroll down. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if can I find it. There we go, right here. And it should bring us to this right here. Okay, it almost didn't want to work for some reason. So to make this a PNG, I believe we just come to the scissors, or hold on, do we layer it first? Hold on. I believe we just come to the scissors. Did that work? Let's see if I could remember. Remove background. Scissors. And you're supposed to lock the background first. For some reason it won't let me lock the background, so we're gonna go back home. See, I want to go Pixlr E. I think I want to go Pixlr E. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Do the same thing, open image. Open image, see if I can find it. Okay, then you will unlock the background right here. Let's see if I can remember how to do it. No, that didn't work for some reason. Undo. See what tool it was. Okay, so make it a PNG. We're going to use this wand right here, and then you just click on the white part and you'll see that it'll do this blur thing. Then you would hit the delete button. Let's see, make sure it's highlighted, and you would hit the delete button. You see how it becomes a PNG image right there. Then you would click on the top white part, and now you have a PNG image right there that's ready to be saved. So you would take that image and you will go File, Save As, Then as you save it, you want to make sure it's saved under PNG. Then you hit download. Then it'll save it onto your computer. Then you would go to OBS. You would go to image. And we're going to call this mud PNG. You would browse for the image. There it goes right there. And you would click OK, and now you have your mud PNG image. So you could basically go on Google, you could search all these images. You want to find one with a clean white background, preferably, because those are easier to make PNG. If not, then you got to do the super advanced stuff and try and outline around it to make your images a PNG. I don't like doing all that work. I like keeping things simple. I like keeping things rather simple, and that's how you make a PNG image. So now we got our images. Now we want to add text. That's right. You got to be able to add text. So a couple of texts that I've used in the past are the Grandmaster Troll, the GMT, then you got your generic Cash App and Grandmaster Troll. So I'm going to show you how to do text, and I'm going to show you how to scroll text from either left to right or right to left, or if you want to do credits, you can make them go up and down. So we go back to the display capture because I want you guys to be able to see what I have on my screen. We're going to make the mud guy go bye-bye. And we're going to make this web browser. Do we want to keep the web browser? We're going to make that go bye-bye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an image, and I'm going to create a black square. Since I already have, when I go to add existing image, black square, because I want you guys to be able to see the work that I do. You go transform. We want this to fit the whole screen. Now it doesn't fit the whole screen, as you can see. There's still edges, so we're going to go to transform, and we're going to stretch it to the screen. And now that black square is going to cover that up. I'm going to move the black square behind the webcam, and now since I was using this black square and it has some opacity to it, I'm going to take the opacity out. To do that, you just right click, you go to filters, and you go to this opacity bar, and you just move it. I'm going to move it all the way, so now it's at 100%. So now you'll be able to see behind it. So now we're going to create some text here. Some of the text we're going to create. So to create text, you go to this plus sign right here, and you go to text, and you got to name the text. So what should we name the text? We'll call it the GMT slogan. Then we're going to type the text. We're going to put the most dangerous troll on YouTube. And now we have our text. We could put this anywhere we want. We're going to put this on the bottom. We're going to make it a little bit smaller. Actually, we're going to make it really, really smaller. Let's see if I can make it smaller. So you just grab the corners and you just move it up. I flipped it by accident. Let's see if we can make this smaller. So now we got our text. So if I wanted this to scroll left to right, what you would do is you would go to filters, you would hit this plus sign, you go to scroll, I think I went to sharpen, scroll, click OK, and now it'll give you the speed. So if you want it to move horizontally, you'll just do that, and the faster you move it to the right, the faster the scroll moves. So if you want a super fast scroll or a super slow scroll, so if you were advertising for your business, if you were advertising your different Cash Apps, your PayPals, your Venmo, and you want it to scroll, you'll be able to do that as well. Now, if I want this to hide, to disappear behind this webcam, because if I leave it here, then it's over the webcam and now you can't see me. But if I were to move it to the left here, it would disappear. If I wanted to make this bigger, but go behind my webcam, again, it's all depends on how you layer it. So you would grab this GMT right here and you would scroll it or slide it down behind the webcam, and now the letters disappear behind the webcam, and that's how you scroll letters using OBS. Now you could also make this move up and down like credits. So let's see if we could change the properties, and with the properties right here, you could change the color. So you would select color, you could change the color, and let's say we change it to green. And if we wanted to outline it, you would click outline, then you would actually select the outline color. And now it has an outline color. You can't see it because the colors I picked really don't contrast very well. But now let's go to filters. Now instead of making it move horizontally, you could just put 0 right here. Now you go to the vertical speed and you could change the vertical speed, and guess what? It moves up and down. Now, to make it bigger, you would do that. But to make it make more sense for credits, let's see, we go to properties. We're just gonna copy it and we're just gonna paste it on the bottom like such. So now, as you can see, it's moving up and down. So if you were doing credits for like a movie with names, this is how they're able to do it. But when they type it out, it's formatted to where it's more neater and more precise. So that's how the big movie producers do their credits on their movies at the end. And you could put different images and have them move up and down with it. So that's how they do their words. So we're going to make the slogan go away, and now we're going to do an image slideshow. Let's say you want to do a slideshow of a bunch of different images. It's very easy to do. You go to image slideshow right here. You would name the slideshow whatever you want it, and then you would, let's see, and then this time is going to determine how fast it goes in between. And all you gotta do is click the plus sign right here, go to add files, and you could add all the pictures that you want to be in your slideshow. So I'm just gonna run through a bunch of pictures that I already have saved on my computer. And I think I'll put about 5 images. Let's see, can I use that one? Let's see, we'll go down more. And that's how you put together your slideshow. Let's see, we'll try this one right here, and that'll complete it. Then you would take your slideshow and you could make it as big as you want. If you wanted it to fill up the whole screen, you'll be able to do that as well. And that's how you do the slideshow. We got Dwayne in the building, teaching some people how to use OBS. So that's how you put a slideshow together. Now what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go and we're gonna cruise these YouTube streets, and we're gonna see what other creators in this space do and how they set up their screen. So with that said, let's go on YouTube. We're gonna go on YouTube real quick. Let's see who uses OBS. Who uses OBS? I think we're gonna help my boy. We're gonna help one of my boys, Reg, the bad guy, out when he uses OBS. Unfortunately, he can't use StreamYard for some reason. So we're gonna click on his latest video he did. We're gonna click on the latest video he did. Let's see. I don't know why does it keep doing that for some reason. Let's see, make myself appear, voila. And we're gonna see if we could get this to play or not. So we're on Reg the bad guy's channel. You can see, oh, why does it do that? Why does it do that? Okay, so I'll do it this way. So you can see Reg the bad guy's channel. He has his webcam up, then he has pictures to the right, he has the scroll text on the bottom, and he has an image slideshow on the top left. So he has a pretty basic setup. He also has the chat room and how many viewers he's watching. So he has a couple of things he could do. Now, one of the problems Reg the bad guy has is he can't use StreamYards and OBS at the same time. And what most YouTubers don't realize is if you use OBS, you don't have to pay for StreamYards. If I'm correct, StreamYards give you a certain amount of minutes for free. But if you stream through StreamYards, you would have to pay once you reach that limit. But if you use OBS with StreamYards, you don't have to pay. So I'm going to teach you guys how to use StreamYards for free. That's right. Your boy is about to give you the game on how to use StreamYards for free. So what you do to get StreamYards for free, let's see if I go back down to my display capture. We don't need the image slideshow, so we're gonna, in fact, I don't need it at all. I don't plan to use those pictures anymore. So what you would do is you would go to Google. You go to StreamYard. You open up your StreamYard. It's gonna ask me to log in and all that nonsense. God dang y'all. Get login code. So they sent the login code to my mail. I gotta find that login code real quick. I'll come right here. So we're gonna check the email for the 6-digit login code. While I'm waiting for this login code real quick, let me know if you have any questions in regards to StreamYard so I can help you Negroes out so you could actually create some content, or should I say create some better content. So we got the login code. Let's see, we're gonna pull it up. What's taking you so long? Okay, so now we're logged in. I don't have to worry about you Negroes trying to hack me or not. You would enter the broadcast studio as you would do setting up whatever streams you're gonna set up. I guess it'll ask you no mic and camera access. You would click unmute. Then you would enter, I need a display name. You put in your display name, it tells you the mic is working, and now you're in StreamYards. But instead of hitting the go live button and using your StreamYards minutes, you would just click and copy this invite right here, which will give you the link. Then you would go to your stream right here, and you would paste the link into the chat room, or like Reg does, he'll send it via email so he could have StreamYards in the background and invite people onto his OBS show, and he wouldn't have to pay for StreamYards. But if he wanted people to see his StreamYards account, or the StreamYard's window, he would just do something like this, and people will be able to see him and see the box. Or he could do what I'm about to show you. I'll go here, and he could crop the window. You can see this is the StreamYard window right here. So let's see, if I add myself to my own stream, you could see me talking behind me, and I could add other people on, and we could talk back and forth on StreamYards, even though we're not live on StreamYards. Since I'm streaming live through OBS, people could still hear me talk, and they could hear people who I bring on the StreamYard platform talk. But I don't have to use my StreamYard minutes because I didn't hit the go live button from StreamYard. I hit the go live button from OBS. So that's a big loophole that a lot of you people spending hundreds of dollars on StreamYards, and you don't have to do that, and you could still do your picture share. You could still click on other videos, other YouTube videos, as I'm doing right here with Reg the Bad Guy, and you can still use the fair use doctrine and commentate on other people's content the way I'm doing right now. So there's always more than one way to get around. They said, "Are you trolling now?" No, I'm not trolling now. I'm not trolling. Believe me, I'm gonna get to the trolling. I'm gonna give y'all a couple of pre-recorded videos during this live stream that I'm gonna chop up and put them on later, because I know y'all Negroes got short attention spans and you don't like watching things. So that's one way you could do it right there. As you can see, I can slide through my different windows. Since these cameras aren't on, they're not going to work. So now we're back to the display capture. You guys have any other questions? Do you have any other questions about StreamYard? So those are some of the basics. So you could use OBS. So let's say let's say if I wanted to do a regular pre-record video from OBS. Let's say I wanted to do that. So I'm gonna go back to the display capture right here. I want you guys to picture this webcam covering up the whole screen. So what you would do is you would hit start recording instead of start streaming, and you would talk and you would be able to record it. And once you hit stop recording, it saves everything as a video file. So you would go to file, you would go to show recordings, and all the recordings that you made through OBS like I have, they would appear right here. And I could take these files that I create on OBS, I could upload them to YouTube, or I could take them to Adobe Premiere Pro, and I could edit whatever clips I create on OBS. So I like using OBS to create clips. If I wanted to take a soundbite from YouTube, I could go and screen record whatever video, whatever sound, whatever song I want to do, and I could implement that over to Adobe Premiere Pro. And that's how GMT makes this content. So I'm gonna go through the chat. So Dwayne asks, yo, GMT, so how's your opening OBS, or did you cover that before? Well, I don't understand your question. And then Celeste says, do you download OBS from obsproject.com? Yes, I go to obsproject.com, and that's where you download the application. Let's see if I can show you guys real quick. You go over to, you could Google it. You just type in OBS. And obsproject.com, you click on it. I guess we could go to the website. And then depending on which computer you're using, Windows, Mac, or Linux, you would click on it and it will give you a download file that would appear somewhere in the bottom right here. And that's how you would download OBS. So let me go back through the chat. Celeste says, I'm putting you on. We got Keep It Tacky in the building. He says you can use whatever you want in OBS. You don't even need to use StreamYard. See? You don't even need to use StreamYard. See, they're laughing at the picture of boys. So what other things can you do on OBS? What other things you can do on OBS? Okay, let's see. Let's see if I go to one of these right here. So one other things I do on OBS when I'm not trolling people. Is I use OBS to broadcast sports. So what I'm gonna add a video capture device so you guys can see me. So I use OBS to broadcast sports. That's how I make my money on OBS. So I'm gonna show you how I set everything up. I'm gonna show you how I set everything up. So I just gotta add a couple of things so you guys could be able to see it work on my end. Okay, so now you guys can see the display capture. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna make this smaller. See what happens. Now that didn't work for some reason. Trying to see how I can make this work. Okay, that'll work right there. So I made myself small, so the big screen will actually be the video of the game. So then you can see on the bottom I have the score, the home, and away, first, third, and all the other quarters. So how does all this work, GMT? Let me explain to you how all of this works. So the first quarter right here, you can see the first quarter starts, then the first quarter ends. You just hide the first quarter, then you go to the second quarter. They play the second quarter. It's halftime, and now it's going to be the third quarter. After the third quarter, the fourth quarter. And that's if they're quarters. If they're playing halves like they do in college basketball before they change the rule, you got the first half and you got the second half. If the game goes into overtime, you got the first overtime, you got the second overtime, and if you have a really good game, you go the third overtime. And that's how that works. Now the scoreboard, that's the more complex part of the game. So let's say we're playing 8-minute quarters. So we would hide the 7-minute quarter and we would go to the 8 minutes and we would click on that. And now we have 8-minute quarters. Let's say it's college women's basketball. Well, they play 10-minute quarters. So we would use the 10-minute score clock. Let's say if it was AAU and they played 20-minute running halves. Well, we would just go to the 20. So however long the quarter or the half or the overtime is, you want to have a scoreboard time for all of that. So it's easy to keep the time in the score. Now to get to, let's see, to actually keep the score, let's say we're going to use the 8-minute clock. So we would click on that, then we would click interact. And this would pop up. Then you would slide this down right here. And you could edit. So you over the clock, you would put game clock. Then the home team, let's say the home team's the Lakers. And let's say the away team is the Heat. And you would have that right there. And if I wanted to, I could go to my Pixlr application like I just showed you. I would save the Lakers logo and the Heat logo. I would make them a PNG and I would fit them in this box. So it will add a visual to that. Unfortunately, I'm not broadcasting any Lakers or Heat games, so I don't have those files. Now, to keep the score, you would just mouse this over. And whenever a team scores, you would just do that and you would add to the score and you would do the same thing for the Heat. And then once the clock starts, you would click play and the time would actually run down. So that's how I'm able to keep score in order to get the score to pop up. So we're going to delete that for now. Let's see, how did I do a new score? So you would go to, was it browser? Yes, you would go to browser, click OK, and I'll leave that there for now. So when you do the scores to get the exact score you want, as you can see, there's a URL right here. And this URL is basically a code to get the score. So if you wanted a 4-minute clock where it says 17, you would just click. So I'm going to copy this right here because I don't want to change my other score clocks. And I'm going to go to this one I just created, go to properties. And then I would delete the URL there. Then I would put in this URL, and guess what? A 17-minute clock just appeared right here. But let's say I wanted to change the time on that clock. I would change this to 17. I could change it to a 30. And lo and behold, I have a 30-minute clock. And that's how you basically change the clock. And then you just make it bigger, as small as you want to make the clock, and you could drag it whatever you want. So if I didn't want to use these squares right here, it's just a green rectangle and the black rectangle. If I want to do something more fancy and layer my PNG score clock over it, I could put it right here. I could put it on the top. There's many things you could do with it, and depending on the sport. On my other laptop, I had one for football, so I could do first down, second down, third down, fourth down, kickoff, 2-point conversion. I could do everything like that all on OBS, and I could do all of that and broadcast the game from the football stadium or the basketball gym. If I wanted to, I could broadcast live, or I could just record the game. So there's many different things you could do with OBS. It just all depends on what you want to do. So let's see. I'm gonna check out the chat room real quick. I'm going to check out the chat room real quick and see if there's any questions that anybody has. Celeste says, I'm trying to download OBS and they're telling me my system is missing runtime components that OBS requires, but it's not telling me what those components are. Celeste, I'm going to ask you, what kind of computer are you running from? If you're running from a Windows computer, I could probably help you. If it's Linux, you might want to go see Keep It Techie. They tell me from his YouTube channel, he's really big on Linux. If you're running it from Apple, unfortunately, I'm terrible with Apple. I hate Apple products with a passion. I will never buy an iPhone or an iMac. Those are some of the worst technology man has ever made, and they marked up them Apple products so goddamn high for something that doesn't even work. But if you're using Windows, GMT could probably help you out, because I love Windows. Windows is the best computer technology known to man. That's just my personal opinion. So when you download it, it may give you a choice for either a 64-bit or a 32-bit. Based on your settings on your computer, you gotta decide if it's 64 or 32. Let's see, what can I do? I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to StreamYard. I'm gonna copy that to the clipboard. I'm gonna go to my channel, and I'm gonna drop the link in the chat room. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat room. If somebody wants to come up, they'll be able to come up and talk to your boy. Okay, so there should be a 64-bit to download. Let's see. So what you may have to do, Celeste, if this doesn't work, click on download. That's right here up top, and that'll bring you to this one. And they got different ones. They have the 32-bit for some reason. So you may have to play with them, and then when you click download, it should give you a little file like it has on mine right here. Let's see if you guys can see it. Let's see, I'll move myself away. This, and it should put your download file where it says mud PNG on mine. It should give you a download file right there. We got C over. He dropped a YouTube link that may be able to help somebody. Let's see what YouTube link he dropped. Let's see what YouTube link he dropped. So we got a little ad. Okay, there you go. He dropped the link on how to fix OBS installation error. So he dropped the link to help out Celeste. But now I'm gonna show you guys. Well, Grandmaster Troll, you got some classic shows you've done in the past. How in the hell did you set them up? Well, it all depends on what I want to talk about. So what I like to do, I like to have my StreamYard. If I want people on the show, I put my StreamYards up right here. And then I'll have a bunch of different YouTube window tabs. So if there's a video I'm going to use, all I would have to do is click on whatever YouTube video. More than likely, it's already at the time that I wanted to start it from. So I would just click on it. Then I would click play the video, and then I would tell my jokes. I use my classic lines. You know, I love trolling you Muppet mouth, you Muppet headed Negroes. And believe me, and I get the cooking on OBS just like this right here. So it looks like C over is putting in giving Celeste some lessons, so that should be able to help her out, and maybe she'll do some content. And maybe you Negroes would simp, go to her channel, start simping it up and making it rain on her with all them dollars. So what else can you do with OBS? What else can you do with OBS? Well, let's go ahead and surf the YouTube streets. Let's go through these YouTube streets and see what we could find. Let's see who's live, who uses OBS pretty good. Okay, hold on. I know exactly what I want to show you guys. We're going to go to ESPN First Take because their show is basically something you could do on OBS. All these goddamn ads. Look at that. They still over there advertising for Apple. Okay, so basically, let me see if I can get to a more complex part right here. Okay, so this right here, how ESPN, why does it do that? Why does it do that for some reason? So this is ESPN. So you can see they have 3 different webcams. Then they have a background picture, it appears to be. Then they have a banner that appears to be, so with their banner is basically a gray square with some dots that you could find off Google and whatnot. Then they basically type in all the stats to their players and the duels and whatever, and the this letterhead right here where it says better duel, Wilson, Metcalf, or Mahomes. And then these pictures are basically the PNG pictures that I showed you how to make earlier. But they're what ESPN does is they have somebody who's going through all the different scenes and sources. So when I do my show, I have to manually go through each source one by one to show you guys different things. But the way ESPN does it, the content creator is just able to talk, and they don't have to focus in on moving from highlights of games or different stats they want to show or different pictures. There's somebody else who's in front of a laptop or computer who's making all that generate. So if one of the pundits start to talk, then they would just switch the camera or the scene over to that pundit talking. Then they have different scenes with different cameras. So if I wanted to take this camera, let me see if I could turn on this camera right here. See if I could turn on this camera real quick. To show you guys what I'm doing, I go right here. So right now I have a Sony that's plugged in, so I would go to remote since this is already hooked up. I would click on it. It's going to wait for a response. Then once it gets the response, it's going to turn on. So then I go back to my OBS, and whichever camera is whatever source is hooked up to that camera, now I'm able to talk to that camera, and that's how GMT is able to get different cameras. So if I were to take that camera, let's see if I wanted to make this smaller or change the shape of it. Let's see. I could change the shape. It's not let me make it into a rectangle or anything. Okay. But I could change the shape of the camera. Then I could add another camera to it. And bam. And now I have two cameras going on at the same time as I'm doing the stream. And depending on the stream quality that I have, right now it's doing pretty good. It's hanging on pretty good. I'm able to talk about different cameras. So if I had somebody else doing the show, they could have this camera right here and I could talk on this camera. Then I could set it up with layers and banners and make it look real nice. And I can have a CNN look, I can have a Fox News look, I can have a ESPN look, or whatever look I want to have. I'll be able to do that. So we're gonna make this go away because I don't want this here. So we're gonna make this go away, and we're gonna fit this to the screen. And that's pretty much how that works. So that's how you can get another camera. What else can I show you? I could also make my cell phone a camera. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that as well. Making your cell phone into a webcam. So we're going to go to display capture real quick. So you're going to download. I'll close that out. I won't be using that. So you're going to, if you're a Droid user like myself, there's an app called Droid Camera. You're going to download that app on your phone, and you're going to download this application from Google. Once you do that, you go into your phone, you pull it up, you're going to open the app, and as you can see, it's going to ask you for a device IP and a Droid Cam port. It's right here on your phone. So you're going to make sure the numbers line up. So if I change my numbers right here, and then you're going to click start. Oh, it didn't work. So obviously it didn't work for some reason. Let's see. C168197. Why aren't you working? It should work for some reason. 192.168.1.97. Okay, there we go. And now as you can see, my phone is now a webcam. You can see that right there. So now you keep that up. You go back to OBS. You go to video, or no, it's window capture. I believe it's window capture. Let's see which one it is. You go to add existing, since I already have it. Let's see. Nope. So it's gotta be a video capture device. Yes, so you go to add existing. It's called Joy-Cam in mine. So if I didn't have it, I would go to create new, put in Joy-Cam, and then find it. But I don't have to do that, and bam, there we go. Now I have my cell phone as a webcam. And I could do this same process with a GoPro. I could even do this process with my drone that I just bought, and I could live stream from my drone the way I'm live streaming from this webcam. So you could do different things with the webcam. You could do different things with the webcam. See, Over says, yeah, Joy-Cam is buggy sometimes. I will say this. I haven't had a problem with Joy-Cam. There's been other cell phone applications that I've used that I've had problems with. Because when I use the Joy-Cam, when I do my games, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I could find it. Yeah, so when I broadcast from my games, I wanted a camera that I could move into the huddles of players, and I was able to do it. But unfortunately, if you use a Wi-Fi and there's 100 other people that's also connected to the Wi-Fi, yes, then your Joy-Cam is going to be buggy. But to get around that, since I have another cell phone here, I use this cell phone as a hotspot and use this hotspot for my laptop. And now since there's only 2 devices on that one hotspot, it won't be as buggy. And I found that pretty good to use as well. So that's how I was able to get around that. But there's different things you could do with OBS. Almost dropped my phone for a second. You said, what's the iPhone alternatives? Looks like Celeste has an iPhone. You see, Celeste, you messing up already. You messing up already. How do you have Windows for a computer, but your phone is an iPhone? You're supposed to have the same. You're supposed to have either everything Windows or everything Apple. You can't have 2 different things going on, because now they're not compatible and it's harder to work them together. But she said, what's the iPhone alternative? We're going to help Celeste out because she wants to know the iPhone alternative. What you do is you go to your YouTube search bar and you put iPhone as a webcam. And once you do that, you're going to click on, you're going to see all these videos that's going to tell you how to make your iOS as a webcam. I'm guaranteed they're going to tell you you're going to have to download some app for your iPhone and some application for your computer. You're going to set them up pretty much the same way with the same IP address and the same passport, and bam, your iPhone becomes a webcam. Celeste says, don't judge me. I have to judge you. I have to judge you. I have to, because you're using iPhones and you're really not supposed to be using iPhones like that. Especially not with iPhones with PC. They say, can you use, AJ Scene Red says, can you use StreamYard or Zoom with OBS? Yes, you can. So basically, I did it once, but I'll do it again. So you enter your StreamYard right here. Right now, I'm OBS. So usually when you're using StreamYard just by itself, you would click go live, and that's how you would go live from your channel. But with OBS, you just create a window just like this. You could crop the window where it's just this box that you see right here. You could just crop the box, then you could invite, and you would copy this, Then once you get it copied, you take it over to your stream and you drop it, but you don't have to go live. So now people could come on. People could come on to the show just like this. Hold on, let's see if we could walk you Negroes through it again. So right now you see I'm watching the stream of myself. And I would click the StreamYard, and now anybody who comes in StreamYard could click on the link, and now they're on the GMT show, and I'm able to talk to people through StreamYard, but I'm not going live through StreamYard because I'm already live through OBS. Celeste says, I just noticed the top results on my YouTube app are different than the ones on the actual website. I typed in the same exact search phrase you did. So basically, another thing with YouTube and OBS, if you have a problem with OBS, you could type in your problem into the YouTube search. So let's say if you have a black screen, or if your OBS is laggy and it buffers, you could type that into the search bar and there'll be a bunch of different how-to videos on OBS. So if you're struggling with something, I remember I always had the black screen for some reason, so I would go to the search bar right here and I would type OBS. OBS black screen, and it will show you the black screen fix, and it will tell you how to fix it. If I want to use OBS, how to scroll text, how to make text scroll, I would click on that, and it will be 100 different videos going step by step how to get text to scroll either from left to right, right to left, or up and down. AJ seeing red comes through with a $5 super chat. He says, thanks for that, GMT. Yes, you're welcome. You at my boy AJ seeing red. Now he will be able to use OBS and StreamYards and not have to pay StreamYards any money, because you could just share the link and people could come on and hop on the show and you don't have to pay StreamYards any money. You could probably do the same thing with Zoom as well, but I don't use Zoom. But let's get back to what we were doing. Let's see who's live right now. So we're gonna check in on Kevin Samuel's channel, and we're gonna break down what he does with his channel, and we're gonna see what we can learn from his channel. So right now he has this going on. So he has a countdown. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do a countdown on OBS. So why would you want to do a countdown on OBS? Well, there's different reasons why people do countdowns, you know. One of the things to start a show, when you first go live, you know, it takes a while for your viewers to come in. So you want to maybe play some music and let your viewers in your chat room pile in, let them greet each other, and then you start your show. Or if you go in the Angry Man route and you looking to make some money, you could put a 15-minute countdown to where you need 10 more donations, you need 10 more people to hit the cash app, and you wanted to do it in a certain amount of time, you could do that as well. So with that said, let's see if I can remember how to do a countdown timer. Because I have one right here. Let me go to it. I have one right here. It's called GMT Countdown. When you click on that, it gives you the countdown. So you get the countdown better than the actual countdown. So let's see. Let's see. How did I do it? How did I do it? How did I do the countdown? So you go to tools up top. I believe I went to output timer. No, that wasn't it. I gotta remember how I did the countdown. I know it was something up top. How did I do it? Let's see. How did I do it? Was it scene selection? No, it was tools and scripts. That's what it was. Okay, there we go. See, once you get your countdown timers right and it just runs by itself, you actually forget how you did it. But you go to tools, you go to scripts, then it's going to give you the time of the countdown. Now you got to create a text that goes with your countdown. But once you do that, it'll tell you how long you want to make it. You can make it 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 6 minutes, or whatever, how long you want to make your timer to be. So Kevin Samuels had his 15-minute timer. And then you could have it count down. Yeah. So basically you got to make it compatible with a text. So mine's is with the countdown text. And then once it counts down to 0, you can have it say starting soon or show getting ready to start or whatever message you want your text to say after the countdown gets to 0. You will put that right there. Then you close out of it. So now I'm gonna go back to my scene with the countdown, and you can see the letters are in the box, but if you make it bigger, if you hold the Alt key, that didn't work too well. Let's see, give me 1 second. It's not letting me click on it for some reason. Okay, there we go. So when you get your countdown timer, it's going to look something like this. So when it counts down, it's going to have the 00 for 14 minutes and 3 seconds. If you don't want these zeros, what you're going to do is you're going to move your cursor right here. And then you're going to drag it to where the zeros disappear. Then you can move this right here like that. And that's how you get your countdown timer going. So when it counts all the way down, it's going to get to 0. Now we go back to the Kevin Samuels show. We'll go back to the Kevin Samuels show. So what he has right here is just simple, a picture that you could find on Google, or you could take a picture, and he has a countdown with appears to be a black square that has some opacity to it. Then he has his PNG logo right here, and then this little Kevin Samuels logo right here. That's just something, a quick button subscribe that you do from your YouTube studio. So now we move forward in Kevin Samuels' show. He's basically just talking. He's basically just talking to a high level camera like this, like I'm on right now. So he has the camera pointed on him. If he wants to change his camera right here, he'll have whatever cameras he uses, they'll be right here for him. So that's how he's able to go from camera to camera. So it's not really he's not really doing anything special or too advanced. He just has good lighting, a good camera, and he has a good studio setup, and that's how he's able, I guess, to reel people in. Let's go to somebody who's a bit more advanced and probably the most advanced at OBS in this space, and that would be one of the people who I love to troll, the Angerman. He has a lot going on with his show. So we're gonna bring him up. Let's see. I think I'll use the display capture. We'll bring up your boy Angry Man right here. We'll go ahead and blow him up, make him a little bit bigger. Let's make him go away, and we're gonna see what Angry Man has going. Now, I don't think Angry Man is using OBS. I believe he's using Streamlabs OBS. I thought about using Streamlabs OBS, but it's a little bit more advanced to use. But even what he does is not really that much advanced. So he has PNG logos right here, the writing right here. Then he has the top donations right here. That's something that in the contributors, I believe that's like a feature for Streamlabs OBS. So that's how he's able to do it. Couple other things you can do right here. I go back to this right here. I believe I have this black square. Let's see if I can make it. Let's see. There we go. Is it this one? Okay, so this one right here. So we just go to filters, and we're just gonna change the opacity. And now you can see through that black square, and depending on how dark I want to make it, I could change the lighting with just a black square image and just changing the opacity. Let's see what else we got. Celeste says the Microsoft Visual is C+. It's still down on this thing. Is probably going to take up a lot of space. Would it be better to get another computer for this project? This is the computer I use for school. So that was another problem I had. Another problem I had with OBS, which was having the right computer. So the first computer I used, I bought a $100 Lenovo out of the box. The computer, it ran great. It did everything I wanted to do. But as I downloaded more apps and saved more files on it, when I use OBS, it would start to buffer really bad, and it became more hard to use. It would freeze and break down. So then I got another computer, and that computer, it worked really well. But just like the other computer, for some reason, it started to buffer as I downloaded more apps and applications to it. But now I bought this computer, which I'm using, and this computer is a gaming laptop, which is built for streaming. And with this computer, I haven't had any problems streaming. The only problems I've had is with the microphone. For some reason, if I hit this button that mutes the microphone, I have to keep going back to the control panel and changing the settings of the microphone. But now I got this microphone that I'm using because I'm at my friend's house, and he's had this microphone laying around, and it appears to be working pretty good. But with this computer, I haven't had any problems, so I'm going to show you the computer that I bought. I just got to go to Amazon real quick and log in and show you guys the computer I use. And if I had to buy another laptop, I would buy this exact laptop right here. Okay. So let's see, we're trying to log into Amazon. They're asking me. They got this two-step verification real quick. So we're gonna do this two-step verification real quick. Okay, so now we're in. Now we're in. So we're gonna show you the computer that I bought. If it will, if it goes back far enough. Okay, just the past 3 months. What year is it? 2020. Let's look at 2020. Okay, here we go. So this was the computer I bought, and I would recommend for you all. They dropped the price down on it to $829. I paid what, $1,000 for this computer, and now it's $829. So you can actually get a good deal on the computer. This was the computer I bought. Maybe it'll work for you. See, Ova says don't need a gaming computer, just need enough RAM with a good processor and graphics. Yeah, but that was the laptop I bought, and I'm pretty happy with the laptop. The only problem this laptop have is with the sound for some reason. Just couldn't get the sound to work, but everything else works pretty good. So what else can you do with OBS? So you could screen record anything. You could take an audio file and use it. Let's see, what else can I do? What else can I show? Okay, we'll make that go away. We don't need that no more. Don't need that no more. I might do a video. I might do a video. See Ova's backstage. How you doing, C Ova?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's up with you, man?
How you doing,
Can you
C Ova?
can you hear me? Am I coming in? Can you hear
Looks
me?
like we can't hear C Ova for some
Hold,
reason.
hold on.
I can't hear C Ova for some reason.
How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Let's see. It's not letting me comment.
Can you hear me?
Okay, so I'm gonna remove you from the. I'm gonna step out of StreamYard real quick. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hold on. For some reason, StreamYard isn't working, so I'm gonna reopen. You guys hear him? I can hear both of you, so that everybody can hear him, but I can't hear. Okay, that's probably why. I think I know why I can't hear C Over. I think I know why I can't hear C Over.
I can always hear you. Can you hear me? Ah, there we go. Yeah. Yep. That's why. Yep. What's up with you?
Have no sound there. So I may be static. Am I static on YouTube?
I'm waiting. It's a little bit of delay. I haven't heard static since you've been going though. The
Okay.
static when I came on earlier, the static went away. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm on my tablet. I'm not even on my computer. Now they're saying in the chat that they can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Because I just unmuted myself on OBS. When I unmuted the
Ah,
mic, I
okay,
switched over the audio. So I'm wondering
okay,
if they
yeah,
can
yeah,
hear me now.
yeah. I hear you now. I hear you now on YouTube. So we're good. It's just a delay now. So we're good.
Okay. So
So what? Go ahead.
what's going on, Silva? I'm just giving lessons about OBS, and there's a lot to cover.
Yeah, man, there's a whole lot of shit to cover when you talk about OBS, man, for real. Like, there's a whole lot of shit to cover, man. With OBS, man, it's so powerful, and a lot of people get it confused with, what kind of computer you need, man, because you don't need a gaming computer
Mm-hmm.
to run OBS, right? What you need is a computer like how we call it a potato, right? You don't need a potato computer, right? So if you're running a computer with like 6 gigs of RAM and stuff, like you're gonna struggle with OBS. But if you're using like the standard, which is around, I think the computer you showed had 16 gigs, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see.
I think when you showed me that computer, because you showed me that computer before, I think it's 16 gigs of RAM it has.
Let's see.
Well, besides the RAM, you also need a computer with a good dedicated graphics card. So that 1650 you got, that's good enough for OBS.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good enough. That gets the job done. Especially if you're just using it as a streaming computer.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is just a dedicated graphics card for the HDMI hookups. And the storage, you need proper storage. And most computers can cover proper storage. So the main thing really is the processor, the RAM, and the graphics card.
Okay.
And you need a quality processor that can handle the threading applications that OBS requires. So anything newer generation, like that i5 you got is good enough. That gets the job done too. That i5 you got.
Okay. Yeah, so
So
it says it has 8 gigs of RAM.
mm-hmm. 8 gigs of RAM, yeah, that's good. At least it's not 6.
Okay.
Yeah, if you had 16, if you upgrade to 16, things would probably move a lot smoother for you. But you can get by with 8.
Okay.
You're just gonna struggle with 6.
Okay.
So most people would suggest 16, but if you got 8 and you can get by, that's good. You would you would get better performance with 16 though.
Okay.
And laptop RAM is easier to upgrade price wise, besides desktops. So it's up to you though. But 8 gigabytes of RAM is doing you pretty good so far.
Yeah, I think ever since I had this laptop, I haven't had a problem with buffering, but every now and then the OBS it'll not respond. It'll freeze out on me if I have too many windows opened up or too many cameras going on at one time.
Yep, that's that 8 gigs of RAM.
Okay.
That's that 8 gigs of RAM. Yep, that's all that is.
Okay.
When you're opening different applications, see the power of OBS is the ability to pull information from different sources. So like how you see when I'm on my stream, I'm like I have like different windows open up, and then I have videos, and I have the green screen with the videos, and I'm pulling other videos from other places. All of that is RAM,
Okay.
right? But I have 16 gigs of RAM in my computer, and my other computer that I just built has 32. So I would be able to have multiple windows up, different YouTube videos, pull in different scenes from different resources, and my computer wouldn't lag like the way yours lag because it has more RAM. So that's the only thing. See, if you have 8 gigs of RAM, you have to scale back in the amount of sources that you're pulling from. So if you had 16, you could use 4 cameras.
Okay.
You could use 4 different webcams with no problem.
Okay.
Because it has enough memory to access the different applications. Because DroidCam, no, not you wouldn't use DroidCam, but if you were to use like just webcam sources, is actually having the webcams plugged in through UPS on your USB on your computer. You would be able to access these different functions, or even if you use like IP webcam. I'm not too sure if you used that before, but you had there's applications that let you connect your webcam over IP, just using straight internet connection. You can use all those different applications to add webcams to your broadcast. But if you're trying to do it on 8 gigs of RAM, you're gonna lag up a lot.
Okay.
So 8 is good. You just can't stretch it.
Okay.
Because 8 is limiting. I like Shui. So that's like she said, like I've said before. If you get to 16, you're golden, right?
Okay.
16, you're golden. 16 frees you up and lets you do whatever you want, really, and gives you almost unlimited possibilities of what you can do with OBS.
Okay.
16 or more. But you can get by with 8, but 8's going to limit you a lot.
Okay. So what else I'm trying to do with OBS? So I've been at this GoPro Hero 8. So one of the problems I have with broadcasting sports is that since everything is wired, everything has to be relatively close to the laptop. But with the GoPro, I should be able to use that as a webcam, and it will be unwired, and it will give me a picture that's really competitive with either the 2 Sony cameras that I have.
Doesn't GoPro have their own app that lets you use it as a webcam?
Yeah, it has their own app.
Okay.
So earlier last week I was playing with it, and when I got it to actually go onto OBS, it had this weird static screech noise to it. So I still got to figure out that problem. And then
sounds like interference.
Yeah. And then I also bought a Mavic mini drone that I can also live stream from. So instead of when I start my streams, instead of just having the countdown going, I'm gonna see if I can stream footage from the drone flying over the neighborhood that I live, and then do my show.
I don't know. You think you'll be able to do that with 8 gigs of RAM?
I think that.
Like, no. Oh, that's still one camera. No, you're good. That's still just one camera with the drone. That's just one camera. Yeah, you're good. So the real issue is with that GoPro static, that latency static kind of issue that you're having, right?
Yeah.
So the GoPro app, that's over like internet, or is that Bluetooth? Like how is that pulling that information from that camera?
It's not over Bluetooth, it's over Wi-Fi. So it uses the RTMP address, and you just match up
the RTMP.
Yeah, and you just match up. You match up the correct IP address, and it's able to connect wirelessly.
Yeah, so that's the internet connection.
Yeah.
If your internet connection isn't powerful, that's what's going to cause those latency issues. because you're streaming and you're pulling live information from a camera at the same time. And if your internet hardware, your modem and router combination, or however you have it set up, if it's not powerful enough to deliver that consistency of information to those two devices, there's going to be lag between one or both devices at the same time.
Okay.
So all of that static and the lag and latency that you're having, that's because that your internet hardware isn't powerful enough, or your internet connection isn't powerful enough to deliver the information to the two devices at the same time.
Okay.
And you're in Cali, so you probably you got Cox Wireless, Cox Internet.
I have no idea what internet they have.
Oh, you had someone. Okay, well, yeah. It usually just depends on your internet, your internet provider, and whatever hardware the Wi-Fi is being delivered through. That's like I had that issue where my computer would act funny sometimes, and then I completely like upgraded my modem and router, and I don't have those kind of issues anymore.
Okay.
So like when you're using, I know to go the other way to solve that issue is to like leave the GoPro app alone and to get a cam link. You know about the cam link?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would tell you the only thing with the cam link is that I think that how you use the GoPro, you set the GoPro up on another side of the gym and you live stream like that. That's what you do?
Yeah. I'm trying that's the plan to do it. Yeah.
Okay, so your plan would actually be to use the GoPro on one side of the gym and have another camera on the other side of the gym, right? That's kind of what you're trying to do?
Yeah, so I have a home base camera that that pivots at half court, and that'll get the whole game. And then I was using the camera, my phone as a webcam to get into the huddles and everything like that. And I want to be able to do that with the GoPro as well. So
yeah, so
it's gonna be more of a mobile camera in the gym.
Yeah, so you would definitely be yeah, so you're that's going to suffer because of the internet, right? Mm-hmm. Because the GoPro cameras, right? That's a great idea, though. It's an awesome idea, right? It's what I would do too. The only problem is that the software and your hardware would conflict with each other based on the latency issues that you're having.
Okay.
So one part would be the internet connection, because that's transferring information via Wi-Fi, and two, it's the hardware on your laptop, because you'll need enough processing and RAM power to keep a consistent connection with those devices and not have your stream suffer any lag and latency issues in the process. It's a lot going on between RAM processor and maybe in graphics card while you're using OBS with those applications. So the first part, if you're having issues with that, the first part you would want to figure out is if it's the internet, right? And if it's not the internet, then you have to come back and see if it's anything on your end with your hardware. And I definitely would think it has something to do with your RAM.
Okay.
So if you found a way to increase your RAM on your computer, because I know the i5 that you have is pretty good, right? That i5 you have is good. Mm-hmm. But if you found a way to increase your RAM a little bit, even if you went from 8 to 10, because laptop configuration is a little funky, you can get to like 8, 10, or 12, or even 16 with laptop memory. Mm-hmm. Like if you got to 16, I think that you wouldn't see any more of those latency issues.
Okay.
And it still might be something with the internet, but I think if you bumped up the RAM a little bit, you may not see a lot of latency issues with using the webcams.
Okay.
We've using those GoPro webcams. Yeah.
So you got any 16 gigabyte RAM laptops that you would consider, that you would recommend?
Well, since I'm on my I'm actually on my I'm not on my computer. I'm on my tablet, so I can actually look that up.
Okay.
Cause I'm not a laptop person. I stopped using laptops years ago.
You stopped using laptops?
Yeah, man. Because you know what happens with laptops, right? Laptops have a shelf life of about maybe 6-7 years tops, if you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the graphics card kind of blows out on them, something like that with the motherboard. And I had a laptop that did that multiple times, yo. And it did that for the last time. And I got rid of it and I built a computer. So I've been into desktops ever since this happened, like 2012 was 2011, 2012, something like that. So I've been into desktops ever since 2013. So I've never dealt with a laptop as a main computer for a long fucking time.
Okay.
But for people for space requirements and stuff like that, like you can definitely just look on Newegg and look up laptops and then just sort with RAM requirements.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't even use Amazon for that, I'll go to Newegg.com.
Okay.
And I'll just look it up from there. You can find whatever you want from there.
Okay.
You don't have to spend a lot of money for any of that stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say desktops are infinitely better.
Okay.
I would say desktops are infinitely better than laptops.
Yeah, but
Always.
they hard to carry in the gyms and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. No, but that's a great, that's a great point too, right? Because if you require portability, then a laptop's a king, of course, right? Because if you require portability, laptops are king. However, if you want to be super technical about it, you could make a portable desktop rig with a portable monitor, and you be super technical like that. But we're not gonna do that tonight. So yeah, a laptop, man. Yeah, and I just put one in the chat room too. It's easy to find a powerful laptop, man, because there's so many, man. There's so many laptops, man. You can find any type of powerful laptop that you want, man. That's how easy it is these days to find what you're looking for, man. You just type it in, and then you just sort it, and you're good to go. That's how easy the shit is now.
Yeah.
But if you already got a laptop, you can just look up the RAM and just buy more RAM.
Okay.
Because your processor is good, you know.
What do you mean? You could just buy more RAM.
Yeah, you can open up the laptop and put more. Well, I don't know how certain laptops you can, certain laptops you can't. But most laptops you just screw out the back, and you can add and replace the RAM on the back of the RAM on laptops is at the bottom.
Okay.
It's at the back where the battery is and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you should always be able to replace and upgrade your RAM and sometimes your SSD as well on a laptop.
Okay.
It just depends on how it's made, because sometimes you're not able to do it. Yeah, so if you don't need portability, I would just say go ahead and look at a desktop.
Okay.
But GMT needs portability, so he needs to look at laptops.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's use case is different.
Yeah.
One person could need a laptop, another person could need a desktop. Like I'm not mobile like that, so I need a desktop. I don't need a laptop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was thinking about doing some shows in my car while I'm at work or before work. Just set up one camera, set up the phone as a webcam, and just go live from the car.
Yeah. Why you say live from your car while you're driving?
Yeah, while I'm driving, or if I park in the shade somewhere.
Yeah. So keep in mind, right, that if you're driving and you're doing all of that, that's a lot of pinging that the Droid Cam is going to be doing because you're probably using a mobile hotspot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just keep in mind that if you're doing that, there's going to be some issues because the Droid Cam may have a hard time keeping a stable connection if you're driving, because everywhere you're moving, it has to ping another tower to keep that data connection going.
Okay.
So if you're driving, that camera may have issues, and it may freeze a lot depending on your hotspot connection. Because every time you're driving, it has to keep pinging different towers to keep the connection stable.
Okay.
And that would depend on your carrier or whatever carrier is giving you the mobile internet.
Okay.
She was asking about Ring. It's a lot cheaper to build your own computer versus buying one. It depends. You could get on average, it's going to be cheaper to build your own computer, because if you're buying a pre-built one, you're going to get charged for the labor. And it's easier to buy all the parts and build it yourself because you're going to save money. It's easy to build a computer. There's a bunch of tutorials online on how to build a computer. All you got to do is have patience when it comes to building your computer. Just have patience and take your time, and you'll be able to do it. Yeah, but GMT, definitely, if you want to do it, just got to keep in mind of your mobile hotspot, because that Droid cam is going to have some issues depending on your Now, are you using is that mobile hotspot? Is that coming from a phone or an actual mobile hotspot?
Well, if I'm on the road, it would be from a mobile phone hotspot.
Okay, yeah. So you're gonna have some issues with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to keep having to ping different towers, and you may have some lag or latency on that Droid cam. So you just got to keep that in mind.
Okay. Well, if I'm in the car, I'll just use the cam link into the camcorder, then the camcorder out on the dashboard.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, because if you're driving, and using that mobile hotspot, you're just going to have to keep in mind that camera may freeze up a couple times, because you're driving and it has to keep up with the mobile hotspot internet connection. Okay.
So
yeah, for real.
So what else do you have going on with the Cova channel?
Oh man, I've been doing a lot of remodeling with stuff. I got some new overlays that I want to come on with, that I want to bring to the channel. Mm-hmm. So I want to switch up the entire look with my overlays. I may start using exclusively OBS instead of using Streamlabs, because of the new overlays I got. Well, I may just have one set of overlays for Streamlabs shows and one set of overlays for OBS shows. Because when I do the gaming, when I do any of my gaming streams, that's my dual PC setup that I'm using. Mm-hmm. So I'm streaming with my two computers. The one computer is the streaming computer, and the second computer is a gaming computer. And then on the second computer, that's going to be using strictly OBS. So I got a lot of different variations of things coming to the channel.
Okay.
And I have a tutorial that I got to finish editing. There's things that's been so busy, I haven't been able to finish editing it. I have a quick little green screen tutorial that I did. So I'm going to upload that to the channel in a couple of days.
Okay. So when you do Streamlabs, you could just shift your scenes from OBS into Streamlabs. Is that correct?
No. Streamlabs. I'm not even at my computer. I believe you can import. I don't think you can import scenes from Streamlabs and OBS. You may be able to. I just never tried to do it. Mm-hmm. But you can share your Streamlabs. You can share your Streamlabs overlay to different computers with Streamlabs. Yes, that you can do.
Okay.
I just never thought about sharing it through. Streamlabs and OBS, but they are the same. They are the same application. Mm-hmm. They are the same application.
I know it's just something about Streamlabs that I don't like, because like right now, if I wanted to change the size of the webcam, I just grab the corner and I'm able to do it. But somehow when I go to Streamlabs, just those little nuances becomes a little bit more harder to do for some reason.
Well, yeah, we can. Well, there's a reason for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have hardware limitations on your computer, you would want to use OBS over Streamlabs because Streamlabs requires more resources because it has a lot more going on. If you haven't noticed,
Mm-hmm.
Streamlabs has a lot of things that are because Streamlabs is like a whole ecosystem,
Mm-hmm.
and it streamlines a lot of things for streaming that OBS doesn't do. So OBS is very bare bones, but the pros and cons of that is that OBS is bare bones, so it doesn't require resources. Example, it doesn't require a lot of RAM resources. OBS. Streamlabs requires a lot more RAM resources because it has a lot more going on in the background while you're still broadcasting and streaming through the software.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why certain things is a little bit harder to do if you have hardware limitations on Streamlabs than it is on OBS.
Okay.
So I would definitely I would definitely stick to OBS
Mm-hmm.
if you're having hardware limitations, and leave Streamlabs alone unless you improve your hardware.
Okay.
That's the one thing people tell people about streaming, that people should be using OBS because OBS requires less resources than Streamlabs.
Okay.
But if you have the computing hardware available to you, then it doesn't matter. Like, to me, it doesn't matter. I use whatever because I have different variations of things that I do when I'm streaming. I can use one computer. I have another computer that I can use. I can use both computers together. So it doesn't really matter. But if people have hardware limitations, definitely, hone in on OBS and leave Streamlabs alone for real.
Okay. So what else about OBS that I missed? Any other features I can miss? Let me see.
Yeah, the overlays. What did you talk about overlays? What did you say about overlays?
Did not talk about overlays. So the overlay is just basically how the banners are set up, how the different graphics are set up over the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, overlays is powerful, man. Overlays is how you make your shit look professional.
Okay.
Overlays is how you make your shit look so crispy, man. Definitely, overlays is how you make your stream stand out and make it look very professional, man. And actually, let me put this link in here. I found something out, and I was about to I'm about to purchase this from these people. They have this thing called Own 3D,
Mm-hmm.
and Own 3D is an OBS plugin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm about to buy this from these people. So I'm giving game. Hold on, let me drop the link in the chat. So this is this company called Own. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so right now I'm on your channel, and it's your intro. And it just says stream is starting, and you got the schedule, and you got your different YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter videos in there. Okay. Then let's see, I fast forward a little bit to a different layout you got. Then you have a different with the stream chat. Then you have the see over with the burnt lasers going through the letters of see over. That's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about how you did that. Is that just like a GIF, like a somewhat GIF that you made?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an overlay that I got from nerdordie.com. I paid for that. I paid like $20 for that. So So that's a custom overlay, right?
Mhm.
So in that overlay, there's different layers to everything that you're seeing, and then I add on top of those layers. So if you can just go back real quick to the starting screen, because I'm looking at it on YouTube now. On the starting screen, right? That you see how the background, the blue background, is like kind of moving a little bit. That's a custom MP4. That's part of the overlay. The lines that are moving, that's another little custom MP4 that's part of the overlay. And all of this is combined to make the scene. And then you have the different sources, like the stream chat, the titles, and the border around the just chatting. If you go back to the just chatting part now, you would see that, the borders are kind of moving a little bit. All of that is custom, like MP4s that's embedded into the overlay. Now, this is stuff that you can make this your own. I don't have the time to sit there and make stuff like this. Like that, I'm not going to do, right? So I'm just going to find a nice one. I'm just going to buy that. So then once you buy an overlay, right, we're talking about like what, $20, and you use that overlay for like 8 months, it's not, we're not talking about big dollars here. And once you have your overlay, then you can add and edit and add on top of that and build, because you have all the source files. So, and of course, when you see these change scenes, you see like a little white fade transition. That's called a stinger transition. The stinger transition is like a transparent, it's like a transparent slideshow transition. And that adds another level of quality to your streams when you're switching between your scenes instead of just a simple fade. Now, when you ask me about that the letters that you see that have like the blue fire going through the background, that's a custom animated, that's like a little custom animated movie logo that I did.
Okay.
So I did that with After Effects. So what I did was I made that little visual and I made it into an MP4. So then I added that MP4 to my streaming setup so that I could so that when I'm talking and I don't want to come on camera, like you see me before, like I've talked on camera, I've talked on the stream, but I really didn't come on the camera. I would use that and just give people something to look at instead of like how people use StreamYard and you'll just see the logo with the bleeping with the bleeping lights around it. So I just do that to give people something to look at that looks dope when I'm not on camera at the moment. And then you'll see on the stream that I switch the screen again. And then now I'm on camera and you see me on camera with the visuals and the borders and the graphics and all of that. All of this is part of the overlay. And then I just make new scenes and copy the source files and make different things with it.
Okay.
And I dropped hold on, let me give you another one. I dropped one in there called Own 3D. And another one that you can get, I think these guys have free ones. You got nerdordie.com. Nerdordie.com, they got free overlays, I think. You get your overlays from Own 3D. Own 3D Pro is a pro plugin. That's the plugin that gives you like 300 overlays for free. You just pay like $8 a month or some shit like that. If you're not interested in that, I wouldn't tell you to do that. You can just always just go to Own 3D TV. Let me see. And you just buy one overlay.
So I remember.
And Nerd or Die.
Go ahead. No, keep going.
Yeah, Nerd or Die, I think, has free ones though. Nerd or Die has, I believe Nerd or Die has free packages. If I remember correctly, I think they have free ones. Oh, matter of fact, here, let me show you the one that I got. The one that I got is called Borderline Overlay. The full stream pack. Hold on, let me show you the one that I have. This is the one that I have, similar to the one that I have right here. Look. Mine is called Borderline Overlay Package. That's the main one you see me use. And if people are watching, if they click that link, they'll see all of the stuff. They would see the package. That's the exact same package that I use.
Oh, let me see if I can bring up the stream. It's gonna take.
And it's only $15.
Okay. Let me see this. Just gotta bring up my live real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna click on your link.
Yeah, so it is. These once because a lot of people will see this online, they don't even know where this shit come from, right? A lot of people don't really tell people. But yeah, these overlays you get from these websites. Like when you follow like a lot of the streamer channels, they talk about a lot of these different companies that give these overlays. And the new one that's out right now that's really popular is its own 3D company, and they're pretty good. I'm about to buy their pro services and just use it on OBS because I really like their overlays.
Oh, did I close out? Oh, I closed out my Google Chrome. I'm gonna go ahead and bring. I'm gonna bring him back. Oh, I'm sorry about that. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still here.
So I'm looking at the over. So they basically sell you the backgrounds of the overlay, and then you could add on top of it. And there's also free ones you could get as well.
Yeah, there's free ones. They have so most overlays, right? So most overlays are about $15, right? So again, $15. That's like sandwiching soda. So you'll get the one overlay, but then they offer like sometimes they offer like a complete pack. Now what the complete pack is that it gives you overlays, it gives you widgets. Widgets are like how you have it's like how you see on my stream how like I have like the chat. You ever seen I have like the chat? The chat is a widget. So it will include things like the chat widgets. It will include alerts. So it's like, have you ever seen when someone is like donating, when someone donates to Angry Man, you'll see like he has the little thing that pops up, or in the little sound.
Yep.
That's a custom alert. But if you were to get it from, if you were to buy this overlay package, it would come with its own custom alert, and that's a complete package. So most of the complete packages cost like around $30.
Okay.
And then it also gives you the After Effects project file. So the After Effects project file is a file that you can use on After Effects to change like the visual, like the video graphics of any of the moving objects in the background. And you'll be able to, because that's a lot of those files are Adobe After Effects files. And then you can change it using Adobe After Effects and then put it back into your overlay with your own custom tweaks and changes.
Yeah, I remember I wasn't using overlays back then, but I remember when I did this video, see if I could pull it up. And I had the graveyard in the background with the green.
Yeah, I remember. I think I've seen that video before.
So it was basically it was some site that sold like these 10 to 15-second clips. It could have been of a graveyard or some type of other artwork. It could have been the city of San Francisco or New York, and it would be like a drone, and you can see the footage of that. It had different things that you could put in the background. I was using those, and those were some of the free ones that they had at the time. So you have those. Another thing I wanted to learn with OBS is how do they do the sound effects?
Oh, yeah. So I've done this multiple ways, right?
Mhm.
So the sound effects is on your end. So the sound effects could also be with if you have a Rode Podcaster Pro or a soundboard setup. You can have a soundboard set up
Mhm.
using various applications and hardware.
Mhm.
So if you're asking about how people play sounds during a live stream, like sound effects, or are you asking about music?
It's more sound effects.
Now, are you asking about sound effects like alerts, or are you just asking about general, just plain sound effects?
So let's say if I wanted to use a hotkey to play a specific sound effect, can I do that on OBS?
Yes. So the way in order for you to do that, it's actually kind of simple, really. This is how I've done it. I don't like this multiple ways, but then that would mean more hardware. So I'm kind of a software person.
Mhm.
Instead of telling people to get a lot of hardware, it's easier just to get software, you know?
Mhm.
So what I would do is I would have my music program open, and I usually just click the sound effect.
Okay.
Now, if you want to set up a hotkey, then you could either have the sound effect set up on like on a stream deck so that it can play, or you can have it set up to like a Rode Podcaster or Go XLR to play immediately once you do something. So I think you're asking maybe like when you see Angry Man do it and you'll see him press something and then you automatically hear a sound effect. Is that's kind of what you're asking?
But isn't he using a soundboard?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
technically he's not using a soundboard, right? He's using something called the Go XLR. The Go XLR and the Rode Podcaster Pro are podcast USB interfaces that have built-in soundboards. So they have about 6 buttons, and you can program sounds or music to play on those 6 buttons when you're playing them while you're live streaming. So when you see people like when you just press a button, you hear it immediately in the sound. You hear a sound that plays right into the computer. That's the Go XLR or the Rode Podcaster Pro that's doing that.
Okay.
So you have like a soundboard.
Okay.
So you can do that, or the software applications. The software applications where you can just have the software pulled up on your computer, and then on another screen, when you want to play the sound effect, you just click the sound, and it'll play the sound while you're live streaming. You can set it up like that. It's a little, convoluted, but it's easier than going out and spending $600 on a piece of hardware just to play sound effects. Because if you were to do it the software way, you would just have to make sure that the sound effects are playing through the same source that your regular audio that's coming on stream is coming through. So on my stream, when I stream, I have multiple audio sources, right? So my music is one whole separate source from everything else. So if I'm playing sound effects on my live stream, those sound effects are going to come through the same source that my regular music is coming through. So all I would have to do is open up another application and then bang and hit my sound effect on another music application, and then I'll just get my sound effect like that. There's probably an easier way to do it with hardware, with using your phone or whatever. I just haven't figured that out. That's just the way I would do it if I'm using sound effects.
Okay.
And I think that way is a little simpler for people who don't have the other hardware, like a Go XLR, to have a dedicated soundboard. So I just think it's easier to open up another music application and have your sound effects loaded up there, and then you can just go ahead and click it.
Okay. Yeah, I might do that. I was thinking of just downloading whatever sound effect I wanted to use and then putting the sound effect into the source and then making that sound effect a hotkey and just hitting the hotkey. I just haven't gotten around to trying that out yet.
Yeah, you can make your phone into a stream deck. You know that, right?
No, I didn't know that.
So on your phone, you can download. Let me see. On your phone, if you went to the Play Store, you can download SLOBS. Oh, you know what? That works for Streamlabs, not OBS. Hold on. Let me see something. Okay, so you can, if you're using Streamlabs, you can use your phone as a stream deck. I would have to try if you can use Streamlabs deck with OBS.
Okay.
I don't think you can. Yeah, okay, so don't take my word for that. I don't think you can do it. Don't take my word for that. I don't think you can do it. I would actually have to try that myself to see if it can be done. I'll have to try that myself. Never mind. But I'm pretty sure there's a software application that you can use that can have sound effects loaded up on your computer. I'm pretty sure this is just a software application. With every hardware, with every piece of hardware, there's a software equivalent that does the same thing.
Okay.
With every piece of hardware, there's a piece of software that does the same thing.
Okay. Then what else? What else is there about OBS? I'm gonna go through all of the sources. So we know what the window capture does. You could pretty much capture any window on your computer with that. Video capture device gives you access to all sorts of webcams you can use. Then we know about text. Scene. What is scene does? Okay, that's just switches you to a scene. Media source, you could play like a video or an overlay or.
Well, let's talk about media sources, right?
Uh-huh.
Matter of fact, if you keep that screen up, that's even better. Because I'm on my tablet. I'm not even on my computer.
Okay.
Media source. Now, matter of fact, if you were to look at, if you hit settings, go to settings.
Mm-hmm.
If you hit, and now there's a delay because I'm looking on the YouTube and I'm talking to you on the StreamYard, so there's a little delay on my end.
Hold on, let me see if I can screen share on Streamlabs.
Yeah, on stream. If you could screen share on StreamYard, I think that would work.
All right, can you see it?
Yeah, I can. I see it on. I see StreamYard. Yeah, I'm waiting for you to. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah. So Okay, perfect.
Settings.
So yeah, if you click settings.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And if you went to audio. So here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's where you can have this like the intricate audio setup. I use a setup similar to this when I'm incorporating my voice meter into streams and how I separate my audio sources, right? So your desktop audio would be the main source of your audio, which is, remember when I said that if you're using sound effects, I would have the sound effects come through my main audio. That would be the desktop audio. Now, if you had maybe like a different setup where you can incorporate multiple sources, you can set up a second desktop audio source.
Okay.
And have that come out through OBS. Now, when you go down, you see the mic. You can have different mics and auxiliary audio. The auxiliary audio is going to be something similar to desktop audio, but it's just a different audio source. So if I'm using voice meter, I use different voice meter sources to pull different sounds that are being mixed by voice meter. When you select these different audio sources, you can cancel. You can click out of that. They're going to show up right there where it says audio mixer. So audio mixer is where you're going to have all your different audio sources that are coming through OBS. So right now you see that you have your mic. Your mic is live. Now, if you were to be playing music or you were to be playing a YouTube video, that would come up on the desktop audio. As you can see here, while I'm talking, I'm coming through on the desktop audio. Now, how I do it, when I do shows, like when I have shows and I have people on StreamYard, I separate using a digital mixer. I separate the desktop audio, which would be maybe StreamYard, from my music, and I add another source so that I can keep my music playing and I can keep the StreamYard audio playing at the same time. Now, that's something that you can do with software, with an application like Voicemeter, or you could do it with hardware, with an actual mixer like a Go XLR.
Okay.
But that's kind of what OBS and Streamlabs allows you to do. Once you understand how to set up your audio and your audio hardware in the settings of OBS. And you can go back to settings again. Okay. Now, and go to stream. Output. Let me see. Okay, here. So the output is how your stream is going to come out on YouTube, right? So what a lot of people don't know, it's a little complicated. So I'm not going to, it's a little fuzzy to me too at sometimes. So you have your rescaled output, like your encoder. Now, this is important when it comes to computer hardware, because that encoder matters. Because you have, I think the two encoders, you have X264, and then you have NVENC. NVENC is like the standard for most streamers. That's with NVIDIA. It works the best. And then you have X264, which is good but not better than NVENC. And then you have the rate control. If you click CBR, I know CBR is controlled bitrate, and I don't remember what the other one is. It's ABR, and then there's variable bitrate. Most people click control bitrate because it keeps it at a certain bitrate. And when you click out of it, you set your bitrate to 25. Most streams, and that's based off your internet connection too. So if your internet connection is based off of 2500, then that's just what it is. And most streams like YouTube, the standard for like YouTube is like around 7,000, between 7 and 9,000. And for 4K, it goes up to like 25,000. But if you're doing it in 1080p, you know, if your internet connection permits it, yeah, it would be a better the bit rate would be much better if you was able to bump it up to 5 or 6. But that's based off your internet, and if your internet can't handle it, then you would leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see here, CPU usage higher equals less CPU. So OBS uses a lot of your CPU to stream, which is why you need a good CPU as well as a good graphics card and good RAM to run OBS. Because a lot of the issues that people have with OBS, if it isn't the RAM, it's going to be the CPU. Because you have newer CPUs with the cores and threads are more well equipped to handle streaming applications than older CPUs. My older computer was not able to stream because it didn't have the amount of cores and threads needed to run streaming. My newer computers do, and I don't have a problem with streaming because they have more cores and threads to stream. And that's where the CPU usage comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Now the whole very fast and normal, I'm not too familiar on that, so I don't really get into that much. I normally just keep mine at very fast and leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you can look all of this stuff up and multiple tutorials on YouTube, and they'll break it down in depth for you, easy, no problem. They'll break it down to you and explain to you which one and how to set it up and how you should set it up.
Mm-hmm.
And you can figure that out in 10 minutes. You click audio. Oh, we already click video. So here, right? So I know you should be familiar with this because this is how you record, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your base canvas is 1080p, 1920 by 1080p. That's standard 1080p in 16 by 9 aspect ratio, right? Now you're outputting. Your scaled resolution is 1152, so you're outputting at 720. What it looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay, so and that's good though, right? Because if you're outputting at 720, that's less resources.
Mm-hmm.
So you're scaling your base is at 1080p, and you're scaling down to 720, which is good because it still keeps the quality. And it conserves resources when you're streaming, and a lot of people think that 720p is garbage, and it's not, because a lot of streamers on Twitch stream at 720p.
Okay.
A lot of people. Say again.
I remember when I was messing with this on my other laptop. It changed the layout of all my scenes. It either made it too small to fit in the box, or it made it bigger, and it overfilled the box.
Yeah, and that's because you changed the output resolution. Okay. All your resources are scaled for 1080p. Mm-hmm. So if you change your resolution to 720p, your resources aren't scaled for that. Okay. So that's why they get all blown up. That's the same thing for me. When I have all my resources are scaled for 1080p, and when I changed it to 4K, everything got blown up because it wasn't built for 4K. It was built for 1080p. Mm-hmm. So you would have to set your output of the base of the canvas to 4K, then import all that stuff into it, and then resize it from there. Mm-hmm. But a lot of streamers stream at 720p because it allows you to stream at a lower bit rate. It allows you to keep the quality, and it conserves resources. So there's nothing wrong with streaming at 720p, especially with what you're doing with sports and stuff. Because if you're doing it at 720p, you're able to conserve resources, and it reduces a lot of the lag and latency issues that you may be having if you're trying to stream it at 1080p.
Yeah.
And go to hotkeys.
Yeah, I remember I was messing with that on my other computer trying to fix that buffer, and I literally didn't stream a month because I couldn't figure that out, so I had to reset it back to the way it was.
Yeah, and that's why, right? That's why. So when you mention hotkeys, right? All of this, when you mention hotkeys, all of this is what a Stream Deck would do.
Okay.
So here is where you would set up. Here is where you would set up all the little hotkeys on your computer to like start streaming, stop streaming, enable preview. Like these are all be the little keys that you set up on your keyboard and have your stream doing things and set your stream to do things without you having to just like click the regular buttons. And a lot of streamers do use these hotkeys to have very smooth what is the word I'm looking for? Smooth transition between their scenes. They use it to enable certain effects and make it very seamless between using these different effects and these different scenes. Like you can have it set up where you have one webcam, you have 3 webcams, and one webcam is at one perspective. The same webcam is at the same angle but close up, and then you have another webcam that's like super close up, and you can set to switch between those different webcams all here in the hotkeys. So that's just like in a very advanced feature. And click advanced. So here in advanced, this is how this sets up your your renderer. So you have 3D, you have Direct 3D 11. Okay, interesting. And you can change your color format, your color space, your color range, all of that stuff. I normally like leave alone if I don't know what I'm doing, right? So I've changed my color range once. I didn't really see that much of a difference, and I left it alone. But like right here, we see recording. This is good for you because you do a lot of recording on OBS, right? And you can change the file format, the name, what it gets called when you're recording, and then you have a stream delay. So the stream delay is something that you would use if there's like a lag or latency issue on your stream.
Okay.
So you would use the stream delay to compensate for that lag.
Okay.
So sometimes the lag will be 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. But as you can see right there, it says estimated memory usage. So the more delay that you're using, the more it's using up of your memory. And the memory that it's using, of course, is going to be your RAM.
Okay.
But that's a feature that you would use if you're having like a real issue with delay. And you do have issues with delay, but I wouldn't play around with it if you're not familiar with it, you know?
Okay.
I would leave it alone. You can try. You could try messing with it one day if you felt like it, but if you're having it's better, it's easier to fix what's causing the delay than to add delay to the stream.
So we went over media source, I went over image, slideshows, and images. What about game captures? Is that what you use to actually hook up your gaming system to OBS?
No, I don't have a gaming system. Everything's computer games. My game setup is a little complex, but to make it simplified, I use a video capture card that's in my streaming PC. So my gaming PC connects to my streaming PC, and I'm streaming off my streaming PC, and the gaming PC is sending the visuals to the streaming PC. So what I use for my gaming PC is a video capture device.
Okay.
So my video capture device is going to be the capture card that's showing the gaming the gaming visuals. If you had a console that had a regular gaming capture card, then yeah, it's going to be game capture.
Okay.
But if you went back to those sources again, so now you have the what am I looking for? And you have the window capture, right? I use the window capture a lot because that allows me to show multiple windows without having to show the entire desktop display. Like how you see me on my shows where I just have a whole bunch of internet windows open up and I'm going through each window talking about something. I'm doing that with window capture and I'm not doing that with display capture.
Okay.
Because display capture is going to show everything on the screen. And sometimes I don't want to show everything on screen. I just want to show the internet windows that I have pulled up. And that's something people can learn the difference between if they don't want to have all their information on the window shown. Instead of using display, you can just use window. You can just use a window display, and you'll be able to just show all the information that are on the select windows that you have. And one window could just be one Chrome window with different tabs. Chrome tabs are not windows, they're just tabs on the application. The application window is still Chrome. Yep.
And then I never use color source.
Neither have I.
And
I don't know what that is.
And the only time I use browser, that was to set the scoreboard from my.
Yeah, so browser sources, right? So the browser sources are going to be like widgets, where it's pulling like information from browsers.
Okay.
So it's gonna be like I'm trying to figure out what a good example of a browser source would be. It would have to be, man. You know, at the top of my head, I don't have. At the top of my head, I don't have a good idea of what the browser source would be. I've tried it before. It has something to do with like a feed. Oh, matter of fact, no, like you have like a browser source would be something that you could use to show what's playing if you have Spotify playing, right? And I think this would be the use case. If you have Spotify playing and you wanted to show people the music that you're listening to on Spotify,
okay,
you would have the browser source showing that information from Spotify.
Okay.
So that's what Spotify does. That's a use case for a browser source. And then you have the audio source. If you went back to the sources, I know you saw too much in the red. Yeah, that's on his end. Well, we can talk about that right now too. So GMT, you see how the desktop audio is in the red? So what you can do is, you see that slider? Yeah, just bring that slider down to should be to 10. Bring it to 10. We're good right there. Yeah, right there. 10 is good. Yeah.
What, this 10 right here?
You know, -10. Just bring it to -10.
Okay.
Yeah. The desktop audio. Yeah, take the desktop audio to -10.
Okay.
And so yeah, so when something that a lot of people miss when they're doing their audio in OBS is that once you have your audio signals here, and you have the green, yellow, and the red, just like when you're recording, you don't want to be in the red. So because red means peaking, and this is the same symbol that you would see on a USB interface. If you're using a USB interface and you'll see the little red light, that means you're peaking. So you don't want to peak, because then it'll sound terrible. So OBS allows you to bring the slider down, and you can bring the slider down by decibels. And the more you bring it down, you'll start seeing negative. Most times you want to stay right at, I can't see on my screen, but you want to stay in between, what is that, 30 and 15?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's 30 and 15 in the yellow. You want to stay between 30 and 15 on the yellow. And you don't ever really want to be in the red. You never want to be in the red.
Okay.
And the cool thing about, we can actually go into the audio a little bit more. If you click the little gear icon on desktop audio.
On desktop, you see the what icon?
Yeah, the gear icon. Click, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and go to filters. So here, right? Now you can add filters to audio, and this allows you to do a lot of things on the audio and change the audio without you always having to change it. So click gain. You click the plus to add and click gain, right? Yeah, click OK. So here you can add -10 on the gain. So just bring that slider down to 10. There you go. Okay. Now click the plus again. You're going to add another filter, right? So then add a compressor. Click OK. And just leave that alone, right? So now you're going to compress the audio. Now close it. Now the audio now my audio is going to sound a little bit different. It's going to sound a little bit more treated. And now you added the gain to it, but instead of adding gain, you took gain away, right? You brought it down 10 decibels. So now you don't have to keep bringing the slider down because it's already set to -10 decibels on the audio. So now you see me right now, I'm just in between 15 and barely touching 30 now. So now you don't really ever have to bring the decibels down anymore because it's already being treated.
Okay.
And you can also add a noise suppression filter to it if you have noise in your area. But when I hear you talk, you don't have noise, so that's not an issue.
Okay.
And the same thing you can do with audio with filters. You can do the same thing with your video source with filters. I can show you right now. Go to your right click your webcam. No, your webcam source.
My webcam source.
Yeah.
Okay.
And go to filters. So here you can do the same thing, right? So you can add either video filters or you can add effect filters here. So click plus on the video filters. Oh no, sorry, those are audio filters. Sorry, click plus on the bottom one. Sorry. Yeah, effects. Let me see. Okay, click apply LUT. Okay, so if you have what a LUT is like a custom visual effect filter. Or if you saw on my stream, I started adding, I added some LUTs to it, and it's kind of like how when people edit movies, and when people edit movies and they have color grading to the movie, that's kind of what a LUT is. It adds that kind of color grading to your webcam. I know you don't have any on your computer, but that's probably a video that I'm gonna do on my channel to show people how the LUTs can really change and make their webcam look much better and add almost like a film quality to the webcams. So I would tell you just to minus that and delete it because you don't need that.
You said minus and delete it?
Yeah, it's plus and minus. Minus will just take it away.
Okay. So just remove it?
Yeah. Just go ahead and remove that. You can add plus again. So let's see what we have. You can do, go to color correction. Yeah, so here is where you can make your image on your webcam look a lot sharper with or without a LUT, right? So you can tweak the gamma. You can tweak the gamma. That's the amount of light that's coming in on the overall image. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Usually I bring it down to make it darker a little bit because I want a nice dark sharp image. And then you can do the same thing with contrast. And if you ever get into the weeds and you don't like the way it looks and you want to get it back to regular, you just click the numbers and press 0.
Okay.
Or you click default, whichever one you like, whichever one you want. And you do the same thing with contrast. And then you can do the same with brightness and add brightness. And saturation adds more color. You see how different, you see how sharper your image looks now, just with a little tweaks?
Mm-hmm.
And you have hue shift. Hue shift just shifts the image on the hue. So it's just going to change the overall color of the image. So if you shift the hue, you'll see it change like red, blue, purple, pink. You see?
Okay, I like that.
You like, so if you want to be so if you want to see, look at that. So if you want to be do a blue pill show, you can you can do your whole show as a blue man. See?
Okay.
And then opacity is how you just make it clearer or solid. I would just hit 0. Yeah, I would just press 0. Yeah, just double click it and just press 0. Just highlight the whole all the numbers. There we go. Yep. And just put it to 0. And then opacity is how you make it clearer or fade away. Solid or fade away. Yep. And then when you're done with all of that, when you're done with and when you're done with all of that, you can either close or you can add something else. And so then I would say click plus again. Click plus again. And I would tell you to leave the color correction on too. I would tell you to leave the color correction on.
Okay.
Yeah, you click plus again. You can go back.
Mm-hmm.
You can click plus again. So then here, right? So you click sharpen. So here, of course, is just how you sharpen your image. And sharpening the image is just as simple as making it sharper, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how you improve the quality of your image while you're on webcam.
Okay.
Again, this is something that you just put on and you just set it and you forget it. You don't even really have to change that again.
Okay.
And that's just one of the many things you can do in your webcam with filters.
Okay.
And you can also do the same thing on images too, on different video sources. You can do that on display captures as well.
So I could take like anybody on YouTube. I could literally change the color of their skin and make them blue.
Yeah, just gotta do it right now.
How would that work? Trying to see.
Well, okay, so it's the source, right? So if you're displaying a window, it would be you would go on that display, that window capture, and you would do it there.
Okay.
So do you have a window capture source on OBS right now?
I do.
Cause I think I could be able to show you right now if you had one.
So I got the window capture that's capturing the whole Google Chrome web browser.
Well, yeah, we can try that. We can try that. Just right click that, yeah. Right click that source in OBS and go to filters. What is the is it coming through on the window capture?
Yeah. Let's see.
Yes, I would right click the window capture then. Yep. Plus. There you go. So you can go to color correction. And you can go ahead and you can change the hue. You see the hue? You can change it from there.
Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. It did change.
You see it, right?
Yep, I saw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can try with a different color, you can see it again. Yeah, and that's how. So yeah, these filters you can apply to any source on your scene, any source on the scene you can apply a filter to.
Okay.
Matter of fact, and click like if you want, you can probably see it better if you click that Angry Man video. You'll be able to see it better on that too. You can see how it works on people. In different scenes, in different videos.
Computer starting to lag just a little bit.
Yeah, man. Peter catching the Charlie horse. Yeah, man. That 8 gigs, boy. That's what happened, man. The computer start catching the Charlie horse, boy, and the stream lagging a little bit.
Close that.
What you can do is you can stop the screen share.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's also probably the screen share on StreamYard. You can stop that. Yeah. And just go back to your OBS. because that screen sharing too, they use a lot of RAM too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The screen sharing part, that's using RAM too, man.
Oh boy.
Because that's telling your computer to take one display and duplicate it on another application, and that's what causes, and that's causing more resource usage. Yeah, but to wrap up on the effects stuff, man, that's how it works. So you can add effects and filters to any source on OBS. It doesn't matter what it is or it don't matter what it is. You can add that source to everything.
Okay.
You can do that to any and everything that you're doing. You can do it recorded, or as you just seen, you can do that live. It don't matter.
Okay.
Just as long as you got the processing power to keep up, you can do it.
Yeah. Don't quite have the processing power. It looks like to keep up. Let's see.
Yeah. You don't have the you don't. Yeah, I mean, you're good to do, like, you're good to stream, but you know the hardware is limited if you're trying to do different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're kind of lagging right now, because you're doing a lot and your computer can't keep up.
Okay. Yeah,
That's why it's lagging, you know.
Yeah, but it did make the guy blue.
What happened?
It made whoever on the screen, it makes their skin blue with the filter.
Yeah. I mean, that's no, you can do that. Yeah, that's a filter that you can do. Like you can do all of that. You can change that back if you want.
Mm-hmm.
You just remove it. Because it's just all you're doing is that's just the filter. You can change that filter. You can just remove the filter. You see how it's blue. It makes the person's skin blue. Because the hue will change the actual skin tone in other images that it can pull. Like, it's not going to change the hue of a black and white image.
Okay.
But if he was on screen, you can see how the icons are changed colors too on the YouTube. Like, it'll change certain things. It won't change everything. It'll change certain things though.
So let's see the chat room. Does anybody else want to come up on the show? You got some questions maybe we can answer or not? Let's see. So we got
Yeah, someone got a question. I can answer it right now before I go. Someone got a question.
Then we got the scene transitions. Let me see how those work. So you got the swipe.
Yeah, the scene transitions, those are custom transitions that you can add. If you buy an overlay, your overlay comes with transitions, or you can make your own, and they're called stinger transitions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of transitions, if you've seen my streams, when I switch scenes, you have seen that line that goes fade across the screen. That's called a stinger transition. It's usually an animated image that has a transparency background to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the video shows through.
Okay.
Yeah, when you add that to your scenes, instead of the simple fade, you can add a stinger transition, and you can add another level of quality, and make your streams look a little bit more professional instead of just having a transition. So for you, since you do sports broadcasting, I would have a stinger transition where it's like a basketball or something.
Okay.
A basketball, and you can actually get that probably off of Fiverr, to be honest with you. You know about Fiverr, right?
Not okay. Oh, Fiverr. Okay. So I'm going through them right now. So they got the scenes transitions, you pick, I guess, whatever the swipe, and then you just name it,
Yeah.
and then the direction it gives you up or down. But I did one, it had like
Yep.
circles, it had a bunch of different stuff to it. Dude,
Yeah, pretty much it. Yep.
Okay.
You got it. That's pretty much it. That's the simple part about it.
Okay.
The finger transitions really matter depending on, you know, what you have. You know, like whatever you have, whatever the video is, you can make adjustments from there.